I just saw something about intentions and goal setting that I that I haven't seen before, and I want to share it with you while it's fresh and capture it before I forget. So, years ago, maybe 15, even 20 years ago, I really got into the productivity game in business. I was studying internet marketing. I was on fire with learning all this stuff. And one of the things that my teachers at the time were recommending were these productivity hacks and things and tips and morning success rituals. And so I started doing them. And at first they were great. It seemed to give me so much focus and I was getting so much done. And then at a certain point, I became trapped in them. They became a prison, like an obligation for me to have to do every day. Instead of supporting my creation, it felt like they were burdens for me to carry. But I kept doing them because I thought that's what I should be doing for years. And then I think it was about 5 or maybe 6 years ago, I started seeing that. I started seeing all the pressure that I was creating with these rituals and routines and structures, and I dropped them. I just dropped all of them. I gave myself permission to not do them. And I kept a few that felt like they were actually still serving me. But over the years, like everything just fell away. And it felt so much better. And I started exploring what it was like to create from flow, from this relaxed way of being. And then I noticed, after a couple years of that I kind of wanted to be up to some more stuff again. I really wanted more focus, and I really wanted to put a little bit more intention behind what I was doing. But I knew I didn't want to do it the old way. And so I started experimenting again with what if I start using my calendar to schedule my work. And what I began to see was that, wow, the pressure does not come from these tools. The feeling of a burden or obligation does not come from structure. It comes from my thinking about it. And without that thinking, it doesn't matter how full my calendar is, whether I do time blocking or have rituals and routines. Without that thinking, it can't be stressful. It can't be pressure-filled. And yet with that thinking, even if I have nothing on my calendar, I can create tremendous pressure inside of me. And so it's freed me up to return to structure in a supportive way and ask myself, what serves me now? So what I realized is that when I have an intention that comes from, I think I should do this. Somebody told me, my mentor, my coach, my teacher told me that this is what I should do. I don't do it. Not unless I really want to. And I can create structures around it, and I can set aside, block off time for myself to talk about it, and I can have accountability partners to share it with. But it's not going to happen unless I really have an authentic intention, something I really want. I actually want to do this. I really want to do this. Like truly, I'm being real about it. And then I don't need the structures. I might choose them. I don't need an accountability buddy, even though I might love to have one. When my intention is something I really want, I do it. And when it's not, I don't. And that's what I'm seeing, because I had a really bad attitude. I've got to admit, I had a bad attitude about having some of these structures for intention setting and like, oh, so accountability, check in with yourself. How are you doing on your intention? Which logically makes good sense, but I was associating that with the pressure I used to create for myself, and I want none of it. I will not have it. But I said, let me try this. And what I realized is that I don't even need to think about my intentions. It's actually a beautiful way to just bookmark it and go, okay, here's my intention for this month. Leave it, walk away. Because if it's a real intention, I will follow through on it. I don't need the reminders unless it occurs to me to create the reminders for myself. It's not from an attempt to control myself and make myself and discipline myself and will myself into it. That's a losing game. That's a key. That's a recipe for burnout and stress. But actually being real with myself and saying, what intention do I actually have? Like the real one, not the one that I think I should have for myself and my business, but the one I really have. If that's what I want, it's going to be easy to follow through. And if it's not what I want, drop it. Drop it for now. Be real with yourself. That's what I'm saying here. Be real with yourself. And you won't have to use tactics and tricks and structures to try to trick yourself into doing what you don't want to do. Just do what you want to do. That was a rambling bit about business and structure, but yeah, if you like this, if you hear something in it, hit like, leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you think about this.